clouds, still below average temperatures. The high -5, the average high about -2. For today, the high -6.
And right now with light snow, it's -10 degrees in Ottawa, -8 in Smiths Falls. Pfizer is out with some good news about its vaccine against COVID. More from City News reporter Mitch Burke.
Pfizer and BioNTech released preliminary lab study findings about the variant this morning, underscoring the power of the boost. Scientists found that Omicron does chip away at its vaccine efficacy with a 25-fold decline in antibodies against the new variant. But that's with 2 doses. With 3, Pfizer says the virus-fighting antibodies have been shown to reach levels high enough to neutralize the variant. Pfizer's CEO speaking with CNN on his big takeaway.
Go and get your 3rd boost, and you have a robust, quite impressive antibody response, as well as a strengthening of the other arm of the immune system, the T cells.
A reminder for Ontarians, if you are 50 or older and had your 2nd dose 6 months ago, you can book your boost on Monday. Now, this is the first batch of data on Omicron we have seen directly from a vaccine maker. Similar data due out from Moderna in the coming days. Experts have said Omicron will likely dominate the globe in 2022, but so far, most cases have been mild. Mitch Burke, City News.
City News time, 9:03. Police have located a missing 13-year-old girl we've been telling you about for the past couple of days. Raina Fox-Wagush has been found safe and sound. Bank of Canada is set today to announce what will happen to its trend-setting interest rate with job and inflation figures on the rise.
The economy grew at an annual rate of 5.4% in the 3rd quarter, almost in line with the bank's expectations. And job gains in November lowered the unemployment rate to within 0.3 percentage points of what was recorded in February of 2020, just before the pandemic. At the same time, inflation remains above the central bank's target range of 1 and 3%. Although senior bank officials have said a rate hike could happen as early as April, the updated economic indicators released last week by Statistics Canada had some economists saying a rate increase in January could not be ruled out. Laurie Paris, The Canadian Press.
And I'm Andrew Boyle for News Anytime. Follow up online at ottawa.citynews.ca.
He's got the news and the views.
He's got views on the news.
It's the Rob Snow Show on Rogers TV and City News.
101.1 FM and 1310 AM.
Oh, what a day for a protest. You have to be committed to the cause to be out protesting right now. But good on you if that's your thing. And good morning. Welcome to the Rob Snow Show on the City News. What a day, what a day, what a day to be in the news business. We have the last City Council meeting of the year happening this morning with the budget in focus and protesters outside. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out this morning. Our friends at Rogers Television will leave the Rob Snow Show when the City Council begins, and they'll bring it to you in its entirety. I'll be interested in seeing what happens with the police budget most of all. I mean, all year there's been pushback in the community. And calls for a freeze or a cut to the police budget, or even deep, deep cuts to the police budget. Defund the police, defund the police. And then put whatever savings can be found into social welfare programs, affordable housing, mental health, addiction programs, these sorts of things. And that's not really what's happening. As it stands right here, right now at 9:05 this morning, about an hour before this council meeting begins, the police budget is supposed to increase. It will not be cut. It's supposed to increase by 2%, which is not as much of an increase, not as large of an increase as asked for by the police. Remember, the original ask was for a 2.8% budget increase, but they trimmed that down. But I get the sense that the mayor wasn't too crazy about that and what happened at the Police Services Board budget meeting, and the mayor, in the end, is the big boss with the big stick at the City Council, and he has the votes to carry on with his agenda. That's no secret. Now, the City Council can't make any changes to the police budget. They can only say yes or no to the police budgets. So what's going to happen here? Could they vote no? So they go back and do it again? Because the mayor thinks the budget increase should be more than 2%? And how would that play in the realm of public opinion? That's why you need to keep it right here on City News and Rogers Television, and we can watch it and listen to it all unfold as it happens in real time. One of the other things that's always worth watching is anything to do with public transit. Transit is quote-unquote free. I'm using my air quotes, free right now. It's free for the month of December. Free. I love that. It's free. Don't you love that, David? It's free. Like the fuel is free that goes into the bus, right? And the operator of the bus, they're working for free right now. The maintenance staff, they're all working for free at OC Trans. Oh, free. It's not free. It's more than $7 million free. Anyway, there are calls for that to be extended beyond December. We'll be listening for anything to do with transit fares as well. And coming right up here, it's Councillor Catherine McKenney. They've set some time aside for us this morning to offer their perspective on this budget and the upcoming update on light rail. I think we should also talk with the councillor about just how the year went for the city council. Councillor McKenney has frequently been at odds with Mayor Watson and Mayor Watson's allies around the council table, so that's coming up probably 9:15, 9:17, around there. Every Wednesday, this is the place to score your political fix. We're going to get our fix today in politics. Two great political strategists are on our show this morning. Chris Day is more on the right side of things. He used to work for John Baird. Jeff Turner works for Blue Sky, very much of the liberal persuasion. Plenty to get into on the political front. What will the Trudeau government do now that the Biden administration has announced this diplomatic boycott, the diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Olympics? The Australian government has announced it's going to do the same thing, but nothing at all from Team Trudeau yet. And doesn't it always seem to be that way? The Trudeau government just always so stubbornly slow on decision-making when it comes with anything to do with the Canada-China file. Now it says boycott, but, you could say the same thing about Huawei. How can it take years and years and years to say, no, telecom companies of Canada, you cannot use Huawei equipment in our 5G networks because it would compromise the national security of Canada? What makes that so difficult? What makes that so hard? In addition, the ban on conversion therapy, done deal. Amazing what can get done in a week when everyone gets along. I thought the Conservatives played that well by saying, you know what, we're not going to die on this hill. So we're going to get into that. And it's Bank of Canada Day. Monetary policy. Nobody expects the Bank of Canada to do anything with interest rates when it makes its interest rate announcement. Shortly, or probably within the hour, it's all about the economic outlook. And when will the Central Bank of Canada raise interest rates? That's what everyone wants to know. And we're likely to hear something on that front this morning. We'll talk about it in the context of monetary policy with Sal Guadiari. He is a senior economist at the Bank of Montreal. Interest rates, the economy, job openings. I mean, that's our big problem now is job openings. It's not unemployment, it's job openings. We basically have full employment now in Canada. But we have 1 million jobs just waiting for people to fill them. We have to talk about inflation as well, of course. when you talk about the Bank of Canada. Well, you can't talk about the Bank of Canada politically without talking about Pierre Poilievre. As much as it's Bank of Canada Day, it's Pierre Poilievre Day. We're all over it all. And you're in the middle of it all as well. During the Rob Snow Show, every morning between 10 and 11 o'clock, we do the talkback hour of phone calls, an hour of opinions. And you know what? It's a wild and crazy ride sometimes. Call-in radio is the original social media. 750-1310, 750-1310, our call-in line. 613-750-1310. I wasn't going to get back into this today. The unvaccinated and the vaccinated, but I feel we have to. Given the soundbite that is making the rounds. It comes out of yesterday's update from Dr. Kieran Moore. Dr. Kieran Moore is the top public health official in the province of Ontario, the province's chief medical officer of health. Remember, we asked yesterday, should we get tougher on the unvaccinated? Really crack down on them. The millions and millions of Canadians, maybe as many as 5 million Canadians, refuse to be vaccinated. Should we get tougher on them? And some of you said yes, and some of you said no way. Absolutely not. And I thought we had a good and healthy debate on that. And then I thought, well, that's the end of that. We don't have to talk about that anymore. Until this soundbite emerged from Dr. Moore. And as soon as it hit Twitter, David and I were texting, and we were like, I think we're going to have to talk about this. And David said, yeah, Rob, I think you're going to have to talk about it. Dr. Moore said yesterday, during a question and answer session with the news reporters, that a basic means of protecting ourselves from COVID-19 infection is stopping the mixing of the unvaccinated and the vaccinated. Do we have the clip? We have the clip? All right, let's roll the tape here.
A basic means of protecting individuals is stopping the mixing of unvaccinated and vaccinated.
Play again.
A basic means of protecting individuals is stopping the mixing of unvaccinated and vaccinated.
All right, one more time.
A basic means of protecting individuals is stopping the mixing of unvaccinated and vaccinated.
Stop mixing vaccinated and unvaccinated people. Stop putting them in the same room, whether it's a restroom, a classroom, a restaurant, whatever the case might be. That's what I'm hearing there. We have to keep unvaccinated people away from vaccinated people. Is that what you hear? That's what I hear. One more time.
A basic means of protecting individuals is stopping the mixing of unvaccinated and vaccinated.
Basic means of protection. A basic means of protection is to keep unvaccinated people away from vaccinated people. I want to know this morning what you think of that idea. Should we separate the unvaccinated from the vaccinated? That's the top public health official in the province saying that. Stop mixing the unvaccinated and the vaccinated. I am sure that will spark some conversation this morning on the Rob Snow Show on City News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.ca/save. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.ca/save. That's ZipRecruiter.ca/SAVE. ZipRecruiter.ca/save.
You're renovating and your furniture's in the way and collecting dust. There's a simple solution. Get a Cubit portable storage container delivered to your driveway. Protect your furniture and belongings while storing them safely close by. Now watch how fast the renovation goes when there's nothing to work around. Cubit portable storage containers. Safe, convenient, affordable. For storage on-site, moving, or safekeeping, store it with Cubit. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Get started at Cubit.ca. That's CUBEIT.ca. Here's a friendly reminder for the next time you shop. When you spend your money at locally owned stores, shops, restaurants, and services, it stays right here in our community. And that means everyone in Ottawa benefits. So when you're out shopping for everyone on your holiday list this year, including yourself, please buy from local Ottawa businesses, in person and online. It's all about putting your money where your heart is. A friendly reminder from Ottawa's economic partners.
Lottery license number RAF 1223329. Win cash for Christmas while supporting local mental health services. Get your tickets now in the Distress Center of Ottawa 50/50 draw. When those in need reach out through the distress line or text or chat services, your support will help ensure someone is there to answer the call. The Distress Center of Ottawa and Region 50/50 draw. Get your tickets now at dcottawa.on.ca.
Let's go skiing at Camp Fortune today and stop by the Sugar Bush and get hot chocolate.
When you hit the road, you can't just make one stop. Rivington Rally Honda wants to help you stay safe as you go from point A to point Z. Your comfort is top priority, and the team at Rivington will ensure you drive away with the perfect mobile safe space you can take to all your favorite places.
Ooh, let's go snowshoeing in Fitzroy Harbor next weekend.
Enjoy your trip no matter where it takes you. Visit Rivington Rally Honda, Highway 15 North in Smith Falls, and rallyhonda.com.
He's the opinionated Ottawa icon.
The Rob Snow Show returns
On Rogers TV and City News.
101.1 FM and 1310 AM.
Councillor Catherine McKinney is the city councillor for Somerset Ward. Back on a big day for City Council here on City News. Good morning, Councillor.
Hi, good morning, Rob.
Well, it's really nice to hear from you today. It's budget day. The budget is up for vote at City Council. What is most of interest to you on this budget day?
Absolutely. I need to see a freeze in transit fares. Both Councillor Weaver and I have a motion going to freeze fares, and so that is vitally important. I also have a motion that I'm bringing with Councillor Moffat to look at investing some of the extra gas tax money that we got into our energy evolution plan to put that forward. So.
Okay, the freeze on fares, as I understand, is supposed to be in place until there are 15 trains running for light rail. That's the proposal right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that not satisfactory? Should it? What does your motion say, for example?
Well, I would like it for the entire year. So,
of 2022.
Of 2022, exactly. Okay. I don't feel that, given what transit riders have been through and given the cost of a monthly pass, that now is the time to add on to that.
What do you think about the proposed police budget? Increasing by 2%. The ask had been for a little more than 2.8%, whittled down to 2%.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the police budget?
Well, I have to start by giving credit to my colleague Ralston King for finding a way of moving some of that funding out and having it redirected into mental health supports. We just can't continue to police our way out of social issues, out of homelessness, poverty, it's addictions, mental illness. So kudos to him for getting that small bit of funding. I do, however, question why, if we needed that funding in mental health services, which we clearly do, we need much more, why that wasn't part of the original draft budget. And that's the part that often frustrates me year after year is that budgets come and I just don't feel that they tell us, that they tell the public the full story of the needs in our community.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this on this point, because it's so often framed as an either or. We can either put money into the police, or we can either put money into affordable or supportive housing, or we could put money into the roads, or we could put money into mental health and addiction. It's just either or. There has been, throughout your time on city council, a cap. This is a political decision that's made at the political level. To cap property tax increases. It used to be 2%. Now it's 3%. But in your opinion, is that limiting the city's ability to deliver quality services to residents? Previous councils have passed budgets with property tax increases. There were more than 4%, more than 5%. I know, I covered those budgets. You were there at the city when they...
I was a staff member at the time.
So this political decision to, say, impose kind of this hard cap, the taxes won't go up by more than this much. Does that limit the ability to deliver quality public services, in your opinion, Councillor McKenna?
I would say that first what it does is it limits our ability to have a serious and honest discussion about what's needed in this city. You know, if people want better maintenance standards on sidewalks, we saw what happened this week, you know, with ice, and I mean, part of that obviously was an awful type of storm, but still, you know, is what a hard cap does is it just limits us in terms of our discussion. There are other ways of finding money in the city. If we decide, you know, we don't want to continue to, for example, subsidize brownfield development, let's look at that. If we decide, you know what, at some point, let's not widen the roads that, you know, continue to just bring more cars onto them. That's a discussion we need to have. These are other ways that we can save money, and not just save, but redirect that money into services that we know are deeply underfunded. So with it going back to police, that discussion has become an either or with police, because we look at that and we see, well, that's the one place where we see funding that is going somewhere where, you know, depending on your perspective, mine is that much of that funding would be better spent, redirected, that increase, redirected into a different type of response. When people are having, you know, a mental health crisis, if we could send, you know, first responder, a mental health, you know, worker into that. So to me, what the cap has done is it has taken away the council's responsibility, really, to have those discussions in public and to show the public, here are the decisions we're making. And we don't have that. I don't believe that. I think the budget is far too difficult to understand. I think things get kind of hidden in it, and it really takes away from, you know, participatory democracy.
Okay, let's talk about the coming light rail update, postponed until a special FedCo meeting